This week's Parsha is Parshas Vayakhel Pekudei. In the beginning of the first aliyah of Vayakhel, the Torah says, "B'chol chacham leiv b'chem yavoyu v'yasu es kol asher tziva Hashem." After listing all the different materials needed for the Mishkan, the pasuk says that anyone that is a wise-hearted person should come and do the mitzvos of Hashem. And there's actually a very similar lashon when it comes to the pasuk that's describing Moshe Rabbeinu taking out Aroinoi Shel Yosef, the coffin of Yosef from the Nile River, when all Klal Yisrael was busy with Bizui Hayam, with collecting gold and silver from their neighbors, the Mitzrayim. Pasuk says about Moshe, "B'chacham leiv yikach mitzvos." Moshe Rabbeinu was busy with getting Yosef HaTzadik's coffin out of the Nile River, and the pasuk says about him, "Chacham leiv yikach mitzvos." A wise-hearted person takes mitzvos, which is very similar to our pasuk. What's the connection? What's the inyan about a wise-hearted person taking mitzvahs? What is this all about? Every mitzvah is important. Why is it only certain mitzvahs? Why is it that certain mitzvahs is referred to a chacham leiv? That when Moshe went to the Nile, that was called chacham leiv, but other mitzvahs are not chacham leiv. Reb Shlomo Volba has a kuntris called Mitzvos Hashkulos, and it lists in what he says is the 7 most important mitzvahs that we have to do. Now, whether we agree with this list or not, that's his opinion. Now, obviously, Reb Shlomo Volba was a gadol b'Yisrael, but not everyone agrees with this list. But there's no denying that certain mitzvahs over the course of time has gotten much more preference and status than other mitzvahs. Some mitzvahs are more important, and some mitzvahs are less important in the Hamoin Am, in their eyes. For example, talking during Lam Natzech before Tkiyas Shofar. Nobody would think of talking during Tkiyas Shofar. But talking during Chazar Sashatz, which Chazal say is Gadol Avonim Minasai, it's too great to bear, and I'm guilty of it too. We all at some point are guilty of it. For some reason, it did not take off as such an important mitzvah in the eyes of Klal Yisrael as other mitzvahs. So you see that there's a certain mazel when it comes to certain mitzvahs. And then there's something called skulas. Skulas are going to Shaila's Kaver, Aroita Bendel. When three Sifrei Torah are coming out at the same time of the Aron for laning, when it's Chanukah, Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, or there's another example, or Psicha Feni'ila, Tfilas Geshem, it's a skula for this, skula for that, skula for Parnasa, skula for Arichas Yamim, skula for children. Everyone runs through the skulas. That's what this pasuk is saying. What's the inyan of the Chacham Leiv? What's a wise-hearted person who takes mitzvahs, who takes the mitzvahs as kol mitzvahs Hashem? All mitzvahs are important. All mitzvahs are equal. Skulas are very nice, but that's the frosting on the cake. That's the addition. When you're doing the mitzvahs and you're keeping Hashem's word and you want to do a skula on top, beautiful. Just because you gave $100,000 to Kupat Ha'ir doesn't mean you can now miss Tefillah B'tzibur or something else. Kol chacham leiv yikach mitzvahs. Moshe Rabbeinu was tasked with finding Aron Shel Yosef because he felt that was the most important mitzvah. But certain mitzvahs have mazel, certain mitzvahs don't. We have to realize all mitzvahs are important. May we be zeicha to the coming of Mashiach, to the kingdom of Amen. Have a beautiful Shabbos.